Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Wow, there's so much going on. So much craziness during the apocalypse, guys.
It is concerning. It really is concerning. And I know a lot of people are stressed out there, but sometimes when you find out certain things, to not speak up, I think, is worse than saying it.
Yeah, we should always speak up. Absolutely. Please do subscribe both channels while we're still here.
Yes.
And Evolutionary and also EEARTS. Each one has unique videos. This is going to go up on EEARTS. We have another video we were working on, which we had to stop and just felt like we got to talk about these things. And that's going to be about boosting your immune system. That'll go up on EEARTS as well. Okie dokie. So you guys know the last two people that we're talking about for Boris Johnson's old position are Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. Both of them are part of the few. So in effect, as we know, it's really close. Well, yeah, there's a debate going on, and there was a shocking moment. Let's let you guys get a feel for the moment.
Is immense. If he succeeds in Ukraine, he's not going to stop there. He's going to challenge the freedom and democracy. Is immense. If he succeeds in Ukraine, he's not going to stop there. He's going to challenge the freedom and democracy.
I would say she handled that pretty well. It didn't, don't you think? I mean, she showed natural emotion, but she didn't go running and screaming. She handled it pretty well. So what happened? Yeah, you know what happened. It's another situation we're seeing all over the place. We did a video that was done with actors. This one segment was done where people were just starting to drop everywhere. They are dropping everywhere. This was on a live political debate in the UK, again between Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak, both WEFers. So what happens? The host passes out. Yeah, a British television moderator of a debate between the country's two prime ministerial candidates collapsed live on air, prompting a horrified on-camera reaction from one of the candidates. Kate McCann was moderating the debate between the two leading Conservative Party candidates who are vying to succeed Boris Johnson as Premier, Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak. During the debate, which was aired by The Sun and Talk TV, Truss is seen reacting with shock. It looked legitimate to me. Do you think?
Oh gosh, that was very legitimate. And you know what I could hear and sense inside of her energy body, in her horror, she's understanding what's going on and at a deeper level. And now these are things that she's going to have to live with because it's really hitting home for her.
There's a lot of people in the know about what's really going on. And they're in major political positions, and they're even vying for political positions of high importance. How are they going to live with themselves, knowing what they know, and not speaking completely, truly, and giving all that information? This is the lady that collapsed. She wasn't old, there again, but we have something called SADS. We did have something called SIDS. We still do. Now we have SADS. Nobody heard of SADS more than 2 years ago. Nobody. Now, every day, multiple times a day. So the debate was abruptly ended. She just collapsed with a thud. Why would somebody in their, 30s just drop like that? Well, her partner it was known had the plague upon the land. So she is the political editor of Talk TV. And, so that was just, I thought her emotions were really real. And, you know, if she wasn't a PUPPET, I would have been a little bit impressed because she showed genuine human emotions and yet did not panic and went to go check somebody. But we know, you know, she's just going to do the will of the few.
Yeah, you know, I just want to say this as gently as possible, and I don't mean to, I hope I don't offend anybody, but when we're seeing people like this who have an understanding, and when they have an experience like she has, many times that can hit our psyche in such a way where she absolutely has to face it. She has to do something with this information. And sometimes until something really horrible happens in someone's life, like right in front of them, they try to make sense of it, and they look at the system we're in and they say, no, this is not right. And usually that causes an awakening. Now, is she capable? I don't know. She's very, very easily overshadowed, but that's the whole purpose. She has, when she goes to the educational systems that she's been through, actually there's implants, etheric implants that can go in, and it keeps somebody in line. But this one, I feel this really kind of did something to her.
Maybe she will awaken, or maybe, you know, maybe not. Maybe more assimilation into the Borg. And we had just seen, like an exercise, how would you word it? You don't want to say a warning, but at the same time, New York City was just basically saying, hey, you know, they put out this ad saying, hey, the impossible, the thing that we've always dreaded. Don't ask us how, but it's happened. There's been an NUKE event over in New York City. What you gonna do next? Well, we see NYC Emergency Management now posting this about having a go bag. What's a go bag? A go bag has everything you need in case you should need to leave home in a hurry. Every household member should have one, including the kids. What will you pack? Non-perishable snacks, bottled water, copies of important documents, etc., etc. For more info, go visit, nyc.gov. Okay, you know, many will say, what do they know that others don't? And this is what you see. Get prepared, nyc.gov. Now, to be fair, I researched a little and saw that they ran the same thing a year ago. January 14th, 2021. Ready up, New York City. Go Bag webinar. 48 minutes long. I'll give you guys the link. Only 321 views. And this is their actual site. So not a lot of people looked at it. 2 years in a row telling you to get a go bag. And then this year also saying, you know, the don't ask how, but somehow the worst fears have been made manifest. Again, you know, when I was looking at some comments with people making about this, some were talking Nostradamus and the sky's going to burn at 45 degrees and thinking that it's talking about that. And, you know, there's definitely a lot of tension out there. We know there's big events coming. The guides have spoken to us about that, but we don't really know the exact details. We get that really what's coming is going to be a change economically, a big change economically, major challenges, supply chain, which, you know, this is all stuff we've been talking about for a long, long time. But we just get that things are going to a completely different level. And it does feel very, very somber and sobering what's coming across because the leveling up, the anteing up, the challenges that we're going to be facing, it feels like it's going to be a higher level than what we've faced so far.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know, and I mean, just looking at this and saying New York says get a go bag ready, that's not a problem. I think that's a good idea. But if we pull back and look at it in the context of so many things that they have predictive programming involved in, that we've seen things actually happen after they put these out there, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, you know, in some cases maybe 5 years. But the thing is they have a purpose for why they put this out there.
And some people, have made comments about, having gotten a certain thing and they're fine and they don't know what people are talking about. But, we've come in contact with, I can't tell you how many people. It seems like everybody knows somebody that has suddenly left this realm. Completely unexpected. When they do trials, they give people, when they do testing and trials, they'll give people placebos. Could be a sugar pill. It could be water instead of the actual CURE. And it could also be that there's different, like we just made these cookies for the dogs, and we just made some carrot cake for Cindy's birthday. And thank you guys so much for all your birthday wishes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Another year younger.
Yep.
And, there's different batches. When we make the dog cookies, different batches. Some might pack a little bit more punch. Other ones not quite as much punch. The ingredients may vary a little bit. Could be. Again, there's a lot of things to consider. But what we see as this is from Study Finds. No place to hide. 52% of people fear they're in danger every single day, even at their own home. Talk about a stressed out society. Over half of Americans feel like they're in imminent danger at least once a day. A new poll of 2,000 Americans analyzed how they feel about their personal safety, and this is what they found. Younger Americans most likely to feel concerned about their safety on a daily basis. 75% of those between 25 and 34 agreeing with the statement, compared to just 50% of those 45 to 54. And, again, the crime is going through the roof. And in some areas, it's just getting to be insane what we're seeing going on. I know, there are many of you that say that, we just rely on you for our news. And we intentionally don't show a lot of the stuff that's really absolutely brutal and, just shows how bad things can be in certain areas. As we've seen just insane amounts of random acts of different, violent natures and just negative natures all over the place. But yes, preponderance in the bigger cities, in the more urban environments. And again, there is a reason why so many have left those environments. It's good to be able to get out there where you can, literally unplug a little bit. And, Cindy and I, we're just like many of you, we have very limited budgets, limited means. So, when it came to choices on where to go, we were a little bit more limited. And, as you guys probably can gather, we're not really crazy about the system. We will not sell our souls for anything. And, so that does limit our abilities. But, yeah, I do wish we were just a little bit farther out there. It did feel good where we were in New Mexico because literally I think it was one person every 2 square miles. Mm-hmm. Now, that felt peaceful. That felt, quiet, albeit definitely felt like there was a lot of cryptids out there. But that's a different tale.
That's definitely something different. But, we look at things like this and, people pick up information and they're becoming so intuitive. They're picking up more of a collective type of thing. So they're picking up something in the ether and they intuitively know that something's not quite right.
Yeah, and something's not quite normal here, or typical. Scientists exploring a submerged mountain range in the mid-Atlantic stumble onto something they can't explain. Organized series of holes punched into the floor. How did these get there? So yeah, the discovery is made Saturday the 23rd. Photos show the dots connected in nearly straight lines or trails or designs. NOAA, they don't know how to explain it. We have observed several of these sublinear sets of holes in the sediment. They have been previously reported from the region, but their origin remains a mystery. While they look almost human-made, or at least you should say intelligently made, the little piles of sediment around the holes make them seem like they were excavated by something. So the dive reached depths of 1.7 miles while visiting a summit of an underwater volcano north of the Azores. A remotely operated camera was used to safely record the discoveries, and NOAA posted the photos that show the holes were found in what is otherwise a flat, sandy surface. Scientists invited the public to offer theories, but commentators have raised more questions, including some wondering if the holes were made by someone taking core samples. Is that an object or an animal inside the holes? Does it run in the same direction as the current? Lots of different questions going on. So this is interesting. And no, it's not likely it's hydrothermal vents being so perfectly lined up. That looks to have logical, intelligent design. And your impressions on this?
Maybe some other kind of vents. So when I look at this, I for one, I don't think we're ever really going to know the truth, what's in here. But it definitely feels like there's energy behind those holes, whatever made those holes. And the part that came in energetically that I'm very confused about is this also has something to do with different dimensions. So this is a dimensional type of thing. And that's where it's difficult reading energies, because we don't always have the right vocabulary words. We don't have enough vocabulary words, because when, these things are usually told in stories when we accept the information. So this is something very interesting, and I think there's some pretty amazing things about it.
Yeah, as nature doesn't usually do things in perfect straight lines. But when we look to Google Earth too, and this is something I had bookmarked, look at these lines. Look at how straight these lines are. These look like runways. It reminds me of an airport, sort of, does it not?
Definitely. Yeah.
Well, this is underwater, and as you can see, it's off the coast here of Panama and Costa Rica. So, who's to say? This area is on a ridge. I would not be surprised, and maybe would even expect that this might have been above ground at some time when, all of the poles were totally ice locked. So, the area that they're looking at is over in this range again. And you can see, we see the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. We see the updwelling. This is one of those areas that could have definitely had a major island that submerged, Atlantis, right? Or part of Atlantis. And, if you spend some time looking, you're going to find some odd things. But, that's because this planet's gone through so much turmoil, so much revisions, and especially the history with the revisions. It's all been covered over in more ways than one.
And, when it comes to looking at things, make sure you stop, excuse me, and feel the energy. See what that feels like.
Yeah, it is more about feeling. This is the thing. So we had made a statement where we said, if God is love, and somebody said, no, God is truth. Well, God is a being. Again, if we are created in God's nature, so to speak, then obviously it's an emotional nature. Emotions, I think emotions are so underestimated. But then again, they're going to be underestimated when you have this AI Borg collective that wants to just put everything into a logical way of looking at things. But when we also hear phrases like follow your gut, use your intuition, that's tapping into the bigger whole. And we are. Each one of us is a wave of consciousness in a gigantic ocean. And we can tap into each other's feelings, vibrations, frequencies. And even in some cases past memories and things like past lives as well. It's all part of the unveiling in the apocalypse, because so much has been covered up. So we want to thank you guys for your support on Patreon and Ko-Fi. Couldn't do it without you guys. Check out Medicinal Foods, link on every video. Use coupon code EEA. It gets you a discount. Good stuff there to boost the immune system. Next video coming up, unless there's something major, will be all about boosting the immune system. And again, They want you to just go out and buy something that's going to cover up your systems. Why not improve your immune system so you don't get sick in the first place? Hello?
Yes, let's heal it. God bless and namaste.
Namaste.